NYIT is a community service of the New York Institute of Technology.
Covering the news of Nassau and Suffolk County's Long Island News Tonight with Ken Eckhart, Carol Pack, and the award-winning LI News team.
Good evening, I'm Carol Pack. Here's what's happening. More than a dozen people, several of them gang members, were charged today with trafficking cocaine on the East End. The Suffolk County District Attorney announced the arrests today, saying nearly a third of the 18 people taken into custody were members of the Blood Street Gang. An investigation into drug trafficking from Kings County to eastern Long Island began last August. The DA says cocaine, weapons, cash, and counterfeit money have been seized. And according to officials, they also discovered a package of fake cocaine. It's a 26-ounce bag of crushed sheetrock and baking soda. A Holbrook man has been charged with defrauding 2 private mortgage lenders on Long Island and a mortgage firm in Denver, Colorado. Suffolk County Police say they arrested 43-year-old Delroy Anderson after he represented himself as an officer of Sedberg Holding, a real estate investment company in Farmingdale. They say Anderson obtained mortgages on 5 houses in Gordon Heights and a building in Mount Vernon by filing falsified documents. Anderson was taken into custody after he stopped making mortgage payments on the properties, which resulted in a more than $1 million loss to private lenders in Nassau, Suffolk, and Denver. State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman says his office is suing 6 website operators for illegally selling cigarettes to New York residents. According to Schneiderman, the online sales represent hundreds of millions of dollars in lost sales tax revenue for the state. He also contends that online cigarette sales make it easier for minors to buy cigarettes. The Attorney General says investigators in his office recently made numerous cigarette purchases from the websites. State law requires that anyone shipping cigarettes be a licensed cigarette tax agent or wholesale dealer. Heavy ice and snow may have led to the collapse of a roof at a Nassau County clothing store. It was at the loading dock roof at TJ Maxx in Greenville. Newsday reports the store will remain closed until an engineer inspects the site to make sure it's structurally sound. Other stores in the shopping center, located at the intersection of Northern Boulevard and Glen Cove Road, have also been asked to submit safety reports. Some stores remain closed this morning, although they were not ordered to do so. U.S. Senator Charles Schumer and the city of Glen Cove are reaching out to New York's Major League Baseball teams, asking them to offer incentives to Long Islanders to leave their cars at home and use a ferry to go see the games. Glen Cove Mayor Ralph Swazi says Glen Cove's ferry terminal project has received $11 million in federal funding as a first step toward waterfront revitalization. According to Swazi, this stimulus money would help boost the economy by creating jobs and offering transportation from the Glen Cove terminal to both Yankee Stadium and Met City Field. And Swazi says it could generate money for much more than just Glen Cove.
And the ferry terminal will create transportation options for not only from Glen Cove to Manhattan, vice versa, but also for, hopefully for tourism and other recreational venues.
By having the transportation to the city and then ultimately to the airports and hopefully to the baseball stadiums, it's going to really open up this waterfront and make it a place for where young people and professionals can come live and access the city very quickly and efficiently without having to drive or take a train.
Earlier this week, Schumer asked the 2 New York teams to offer incentive packages like discounted tickets to encourage fans to take the ferry. He says this would ultimately help revitalize the Glen Cove area and bring additional economic activity to the region.
Having Yankee and Mets fans regularly come here, take the ferry, sounds like a great time. You can sailgate, not tailgate, but sailgate.
The new Glen Cove ferry terminal broke ground last June, and the city says it hopes to start ferry service this summer. However, this wouldn't be the first time Glen Cove has initiated ferry service. In the past, there's been a ferry to Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut, and there was service to Manhattan, which ended in 2001. Less than a week and counting. That's how much time there is until Verizon is able to become a player in the iPhone game. Ever since the Apple smartphone went on sale in 2007, Verizon customers have been hoping for the chance to have one on their network. That day arrives on February 10th. However, Verizon started taking pre-orders from existing customers today. The phone is basically the same as the AT&T model, and the price is the same. The key difference is the performance of the networks the phones are on. AT&T's network is often spotty in some cities, while Verizon has much wider coverage for broadband wireless data. However, a reviewer for the Wall Street Journal says the Verizon iPhone has a slower data download and won't fully work in other countries. And saying new times demand new journalism, Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation launched its first digital news service this week. Simply called The Daily, the product is expressly designed for tablet computers. According to Murdoch, it's part website, part glossy magazine, and part network newscast, combining photographs, video, and interactive features that work together. It's not known how receptive Apple's iPad users will be to paying for subscription news, but if they're willing to pay the price, Murdoch says it will cost about 14 cents a day or $39.99 a year. Stocks moved little today as investor worries about violent protests in Egypt weighed against relatively positive news on retail sales and the economy. The Dow closed up 20 1/3 points. The Nasdaq is up 4 1/3, and the S&P 500 is just over 3 points higher. Stay with us. We'll have more news and weather right after this as NYIT's LI News Tonight continues. See a screening of the film Devil in a Blue Dress at New York Institute of Technology's D. Seversky Center in Old Westbury on Wednesday, February 9th at 5:30 p.m. For more information, call 516-686-7567. Long Beach seniors can learn safe driving tips at the AARP Mature Live Driving Course at Long Beach Public Library on February 9th and 16th at 6 p.m. For more information, call 516-432-7200. The Jerry Tobin Irish Language School is giving free Gaelic classes in Babylon starting Thursday, February 10th at 8 p.m. For more information, call 631-521-1227. Or learn the history of Long Island train stations at Northport Public Library on Thursday, February 10th at 7:30 p.m. For more information, call 631-261-6930. If you have an event you'd like included on the LI News Tonight community calendar, send it to linewstonight@nyit.edu.
Press play to start your future. Learn the industry. Use the technology. Become an expert in television reporting, journalism, radio, digital film, public relations and advertising, television production, digital graphics, a beautiful state-of-the-art campus, a road to the job you've always wanted, in the media capital of the world. Communication Arts at NYIT. When can you start?
Heavy gunfire has erupted amid the clashes between regime supporters and anti-government protesters in Cairo, and people have been seen carrying away at least one person. Fire and looting have broken out in and around the city. Security officials say a fire is raging in a major supermarket just outside a suburb of the capital, and looters were seen inside the building. Another building burning in central Cairo neighbors a five-star hotel tower overlooking the Nile River. Foreign journalists have been beaten with sticks and fists by pro-government mobs, and dozens were reported detained by security forces. A White House spokesperson says the systematic targeting of journalists in Egypt is unacceptable and says those who have been detained must be freed. Authorities in northeast Australia are expressing relief that no one was killed in one of the most powerful storms ever recorded in the country. Cyclone Yasi ripped apart homes and snapped power poles as it tore through Queensland state, an area already soaked by weeks of flooding. Officials who had warned residents about the cyclone for several days say lives were spared because people fled to evacuation centers or bunkered themselves in their homes. Hundreds of homes are destroyed or seriously damaged, and officials say thousands more will remain barely livable until the wreckage is cleared. Yasi brought powerful winds of up to 170 miles per hour at its core, along with rain and tidal surges. Several small towns directly under the cyclone's eye are devastated. Hundreds of millions of dollars of banana and sugarcane crops are smashed, and power to more than 180,000 homes is out. A new lunar year has begun in China, with families and friends gathering together to say goodbye to the unpredictable Year of the Tiger and hello to a more peaceful Year of the Rabbit. The celebration began with midnight fireworks and will end in 15 days with the Chinese Lantern Festival. Families will be celebrating longtime traditions like eating foods that symbolize wealth and togetherness, and by avoiding things like sweeping their floors so they don't sweep away good luck. It's believed the Year of the Rabbit brings with it an unhurried pace, few problems, and the promise of prosperity without having to work too hard. There are good bowls of chili and there are great bowls of chili, and today some firefighting chefs proved they can take the heat during a cook-off for the best bowl of chili in Nassau County. Tanya Cavallo has the story.
All you need is a little tomato sauce, some ground meat, beans, spices, and you've got yourself this Super Bowl favorite, chili. A team of Nassau County firefighters put their cooking to the test in Garden City, competing for the title of Best Super Bowl Chili Chef.
You know, the firemen are great chefs because they take a lot of pride in what they do. And it's really the combination of the ingredients you use without totally washing out one distinct flavoring and getting them all to come together to give you this phenomenal taste.
These chefs prepare their dishes ahead of time, but got to add the finishing touches today before facing a panel of judges for the chili showdown.
So are you nervous about the competition today?
Never.
Why is that?
We're gonna win.
While there are arguments about what ingredients make the best chili, they all seem to agree that there's one ingredient you can't do without.
You got to make it with love, you know, and it's the way you stir it and the way you put everything in and you saute everything and the way it's done.
And Angelo showed us how it's done.
It's chopped meat, right, lean chopped meat, jalapeno peppers, and then we have bell peppers, red and green bell peppers, hot sauce and everything, and beans, you know, the basic ingredients.
And a little confidence doesn't hurt.
But I feel like, you know, that I put my heart into this chili, and I feel like I'm going to come out on top.
Justin's heart won him first place and the title of Best Super Bowl Chili Chef. In Garden City, Tanya Carvalho, LI News Tonight.
We had a partly cloudy day across the island with today's high near 30. Tonight, clear skies with a low in the teens. Friday, mostly sunny with a high in the mid-30s. Saturday, a wintry mix of snow, sleet, and rain with a high in the mid-30s. Sunday, sunny with a high in the upper 30s, and the outlook for Monday, partly cloudy with a high near 40. And that's it for NYIT's LI News Tonight. I'm Carol Pack. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.